IGF Supporting Association, and have been elected as chair by my colleagues. And here we have Marcus Kummer. Marcus Kummer is the IGF Supporting Association secretary and the father of the idea of creating this association. And Kyle Schurman. Kyle acts as the IGF Supporting Association Secretariat. We have also in the room here Avery Doria. Avery, raise your hand, thank you. She's a member of the executive committee. And Subi, everybody knows Subi. And Sherry Miller, and Edmund Chong. And do we have somebody else? No. Okay. And also the members of the executive committee are very busy with other activities. So we have to start this. You know about the formalities. Yeah. He knows what to do.
Well, thank you. Yes, we have our articles of association give us some mandatory statutory obligations we have to go through, and they are on the agenda. We had hoped to project the agenda, but we have some technical incompatibilities with our equipment and their equipment. But the agenda has 7 points. Number 1 is adoption of agenda. Number 2 is appointment of 3 members of the executive committee. Number 3 is noting the contents of the reports and financial statements for the year and voting on their adoption. Number 4 is approval of the annual budget based upon a recommendation by the executive committee. And number 5 is granting the discharge to the executive committee. Number 6 is determining membership dues. And number 7 is any other business. We had sent out the agenda beforehand. We had also sent out the reports and financial statements. You have received them through your email. So these are the elements we have to go through based on our articles of association. Oh, back to you.
Okay, it's working. So I assume that we have adopted the agenda? Okay. We will appoint the 3 members before the report? Or? Yeah, this is before the report. Okay. Okay, the executive committee is formed by 9 members, and we have decided to initiate a rotation in the executive committee this year in this General Assembly. So we decided that 3 of the seats will be renewed this year, other 3 next year, and the last 3 in the 3rd year. So the people that will be elected today for filling the 3 seats that will be available in the executive committee will serve in the executive committee for the next 3 years. And the 3 executive committee members that are leaving their positions this year are...
Yes. We have determined by drawing lots, and the lots decided it was 3 members, and they are Subi sitting here, Edmund sitting here, and Marilyn Cade, who is not in the room. But that does not mean that they cannot stand for re-election if they desire to do so. We have also said and invited for nominations, but we have not received any nominations. So
the 3 of the outgoing executive committee members have expressed their desire to be re-elected. So we have 3 candidates, and before proceeding with the election, we need to ask all the present here members if there is anybody else who is interested in serving in the executive committee of the IGFSA. Okay, I assume no. Okay. Okay, so I think that's we can maybe approve the re-election by acclamation instead of setting formal procedures for voting.
that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I ask you for re-electing the 3 members of the executive committee by acclamation. So the next point in the agenda is the report of the, we have the, you have received, if you are subscribed to the list, and if you are not subscribed to the list, it's because you are not members, what is very bad. And it should not be understandable.
The report is on the website.
Yes. So it's, it has been sent, the link to the list. It is available in the website. And I will go through the report very quickly. The IGFSA was launched in September 2014 in Istanbul, in Turkey, during the last IGF. The General Assembly approved the Articles of Association, and the Executive Committee, the first Executive Committee, that is formed by the 9 people. That's beside the 5 that I have already mentioned, is Marilyn Cade, Tarek Kamel, Alice Munjwa, that was Virat Bhatia. Alice Munjwa was substituted during the year and was duly informed through the list of members by Chimson Olofuye, who is serving currently in the Executive Committee. The Executive Committee has been active. We have had 12 meetings over the course of the year. Some of the meetings were in person, usually in conjunction with other meetings like IGF consultations or ICAM meetings. We have the habit of having a breakfast during every Wednesday during ICAM meetings, and it is a very nice reason for waking up very early in the morning. And we have at the time of closing this report, we had 114 active members, and now we have almost 125, 124, something like that, and 11 individuals and 11 organizations. And this is, I think this is good, and the good news is that these people is renewing the membership, and there is also a good news that we are growing. The bad news is that there are a lot of people who express support to the IGF supporting association, but they don't become members, and they are very happy with what we are doing. They express satisfaction with what the IGFSA is doing, but sometimes it's just that they forget to go to the website and to complete the steps for becoming members. So I ask you, I beg you to work with your colleagues to try to bring more people on board. I think that there should not be excuse for having less than 1,000 members, and I hope to finish this week with around 200 members. We have to work a lot during the 2.5 days that we have in front of us in the IGF. The memberships could be paid in person, and Kyle has been collecting money in the booth, in our booth, and all the days, and also you can go to the website and pay with PayPal. I know that some people have experienced some problems. Kyle, do you want to add something? That's
Microphone.
Why you are going there?
So if people are having problems with the PayPal, they can come by the booth or just contact me at schulman@igfsa.org, and we can figure something out to ensure that you've paid your membership.
Okay, thank you, Kyle. With regard to the fundraising, we have raised 334,223 US dollars with 18 cents. How we collected 18 cents? This is a good question. Yes, I know. It was a joke. And you can see in the report the list of donors, the money that we have collected as individual memberships, and also the donors, the organizational donors. And there is right now just 5 minutes ago, an organization asked me to send an invoice to contribute with money. So there is a new organizations that are coming on board, and we have received some of the contributions you see in the list are very recent. So it means that there are more people that is contributing. And the Internet Society and ICANN and CIRA are the main donors. CIRA has made a commitment for contributing with $25,000 per year. And I hope this is an example for other organizations that to pledge contribution in multiple years contribution. With regard to the allocation of funds, we agreed on that distribution, that the percentual distribution that you can see on the screen. This is contributing to the UN IGF Trust Fund with 60% of our funds, and 10% with strengthening the IGF Secretariat. What does it mean? It means that we can spend money supporting the IGF Secretariat, but by two ways. One is to submitting money to the IGF UN Trust Fund, and other is doing things that they need us to do, like we have contributed hiring interns or paying some trips for people that is working with the Secretariat, and sometimes due to the time constraints or just for making the bureaucracy easier. This is something that we can do for helping with the efficiency of the work that they are doing. And we have 15% that we are spending on supporting regional and national IGF initiatives, and we have also another percentage that we spend in communication and outreach activities, and also we are creating a small fund for contingencies, future contingencies that we hope we don't need to spend in the future. In May this year, we made a contribution to the UN Trust Fund of $114,000. And now, at the end, after we close the year, we will make a new calculation. We will make a new contribution to the IGF, to the UN Trust Fund. We have also spent some money in supporting the Secretariat, as I said. We hired Brian Guterman for supporting the IGF Secretariat as a fellowship. As you can see, the compensation, that is, we are being very transparent on that. And also, as I already mentioned, one of the examples, we supported the travel of Ms. Sorina Telenu. Not sure. Teleanu. As a long-time volunteer to the IGF Secretariat to attend this meeting in João Pessoa. And we have supported the regional and national IGFs. You have seen in the list, surely, the calls that we issued. We have supported 7 regional IGF initiatives with $3,500 each. This is Eurodig, Asian Pacific Regional IGF, East Africa IGF, African IGF, West African IGF, Central African IGF, and Latin American and Caribbean IGF. And we also supported 15 national IGFs with 2,000 each. It's Argentina, Armenia, Benin, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Chad, Colombia, Ecuador, Ghana, Moldova, Paraguay, Senegal, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Sri Lanka, and Togo. And we are not, what we are asking them, so the application is very easy. We just are asking some questions about how the meetings are organized, if they are multi-stakeholder meetings, if it is open to the participation of all stakeholders, how they are being funded, if they are being funded by other sources. But we don't just take we don't evaluate the quality of the meetings, and in fact, this is good for promoting sometimes the newcoming experiences are not so perfect, and so they deserve our support. With regard to outreach communications, we organized some outreach luncheons during the WISIS high-level event in May. And also we supported Marcus' travel to the UNESCO meeting in Connecting the Dots in March, where we also had some IGFSA activities. And also we supported one executive committee member to participate in the UN WISIS +10 event in New York to promote IGFSA. And as I said, we have a 7%, I think, of our incomes, 8% of our incomes are being just saved as for contingencies, future contingencies. And so this is how we have spent our money. Anything else? Huh?
Ask the General Assembly to take note of the report.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay. Well, are there comments, questions? If not, we will ask you to take note of the report for the record.
Happy to answer questions or listen your comments, receive inputs, expressions of interest to donate. We accept cash, check banks.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to put on record that Jens Karklinch, chair of the MAG. I would like to put on record appreciation of the work and that IGFSA has done so far, and then support to IGF Secretariat and then national, regional initiatives, because I think that this is exactly why a support association was created, and I really applaud these first steps, and I hope that they will continue also in the future. So, bravo.
Thank you very much, Janice, for your kind words. I think that's the individual contributions. You can see that probably you can think that they are not relevant in terms of the amount of money but this is really very important, because beside being a vehicle for channeling the individual contributions to the supporting the IGF, this is also a way to create networks of support. And this is one of the reasons, because I think that we should have much more individual contributors. But so, any other questions or comment? Germán? I'm sorry. We can. Yeah, I can do it. Okay, I'm sorry that we can bring the mic to the people.
Germán Valdés, NRO Executive Secretary, but I'm here with my personal capacity. Thank you, Raul, for the detailed report. And just, it's a simple question. If maybe I'm asking the obvious, but it's hard to follow the inbox speed in this week. But this report has been shared or will be sent to the?
It's on the website.
Okay, it's on the website. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
And it is the same report. Okay, any other comment? No? So, what I have to do now?
Can take it. The General Assembly takes note of the report.
Okay, so I ask the General Assembly to take note of the report. How do I do?
You can assume it.
Okay. Okay, it's great to have Marcus here. Now we want to present our budget for next year, and the budget is not presented in terms of money, but in terms of what we expect to do in percentual fashion. And we plan to keep the current structure of that is 60% to be transferred to the UN IGF Trust Fund, 10% to support IGF Secretariat by other means, 15% to support regional and national IGFs, 7% to outreach communication, and 8% for IGFSA contingency plans. And it's open for comments, suggestions. Marilyn.
Thank you, Raul. I don't know how many of you have had a chance to stop by the IGFSA booth, but I want to be sure that you're all picking up, if I can find Kyle, you're all picking up copies of our updated materials, and ask you to help us, not just by thinking about when you become a member, as you said, Raul, even doubling, if you're an individual member, even doubling your contribution from 25 to 50 or from 25 to 35, it begins to add up if we have enough members. But what I would like you to think about helping us do, so the percentages stay, but we need to be able to look ahead at a bigger landscape of national and regional IGFs. I coordinated the substantive session of the national and regional IGFs that just concluded. And in an informal discussion, the coordinators have made a proposal to themselves that they want to help catalyze doubling the number of national IGF initiatives and really changing the number of stars that there are on the inside of this map. So looking at that, we're going to need more money to be able to provide more support to more entities. And we also, as all of you know, we've substantially increased the amount of intersessional work, which means more work on the part of the Secretariat. So when you think about your members, when you think about what you can do to further help IGFSA, think about taking some of those brochures with you and buttonholing people that you're seeing around here the rest of the week and asking them to join or make a contribution as well, because I think that's one of our opportunities to make sure that we have a budget that's really robust.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Subhi Chaturvedi, and I want to second what Marilyn's just proposing, because each of us remain agents of change, and if we could convince just one or at least two people to contribute, we would really add to the bucket. And $25 is the minimum amount, so we don't stop at that. There is much more, including cents, pennies, whatever you can find. Make sure that you bring that to the kiosk. Second, year one, we set out targets for ourselves. We were not too ambitious, but we organically pushed ourselves and looked at what each of us could bring to the table. I do want to speak to increasing participation through the year. So when you say that there's a certain skill set that you bring to the table, it could either be raising funds, or it could also be participating in any of the outreach activities that we're talking about. So whether it's outreach in communication or helping us with lists that you can draw, potential donors, or any new and creative material that you could come up with that simplifies different activities at the IGF and helps bring more people, new participants, to the IGF. So contributions are very welcome, either in cash or in kind. And I'm also wondering if we can also look at specifying, when we say outreach and communication, either within that a sub-bracket which looks at capacity building. So one is funding that we're offering to regional and national initiatives. The other is also building capacity by creating more awareness about what IGFSA does and how we can bring in newer voices to the IGF in terms of physical, online, or remote participation. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, allow me also one comment. I mean, this budget is in percentage and not in real figure, and it does also not reflect the in-kind contribution ISOC does as providing the Secretariat through Kyle. I think that also deserves to be recognized.
Thank you, Marcus. Kyle, do you want to tell about the raffle? That's because...
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So this week we're, for any people that are coming in, either joining as a new member or renewing their membership, We'll be having a raffle tomorrow during lunch where you can win an iPad or a smartwatch and some other cool prizes. So I suggest you all renew or join and be in the drawing for that.
At the end of the day, you can buy an iPad for $25. That's a great business. Okay, any other comment? Okay, so
So just from all of us, from the board and the entire community, thank you, Carl, for everything that you do, and Marcus for the secretariat help and the leadership that you provide to IGFSA. Thank you.
So it is supposed that we have to approve the budget according to what my friend Marcus says. So I think that's, if there is no objection, I think that's is approved. Okay. Thank you. So next point, Marcus.
That's an obligation under Swiss law, and as you know, the IGFSA is established under Swiss law, incorporated in Switzerland, and there any executive committee or leadership organization of an association has to be granted the discharge by its member every year, which means in practical terms that the membership agrees with the work carried out by the executive committee. So, Mr. Chairman, can you ask then the General Assembly to grant the discharge to the executive committee?
Why you don't do that?
Sorry?
Why you don't do that?
Well, you are the chair.
But you know what you have to do. No, make the question, please.
Okay, on behalf of the chairman, I will ask the General Assembly to grant the discharge to the executive committee. And if I hear no voice to the contrary, I can assume we have an agreement that there is a discharge.
Thank you, Marcus. Next point in the agenda is determining the membership dues, and we will maintain the $25 per individual and $100 per $100 as a minimum for organizations. So, again, if there is no objection, we will keep those fees. And okay, it's decided. Any other business? Any other business? Any others? Lunch is there? We have time for lunch. Okay, so having said that, I will ask you something to do something, please. If you really think that this is a good idea and that it is worthy to support the IGF Supporting Association, ask some colleagues to join us to join IGFSA. 1, 2, 3 people that each of you can bring on board. It counts, and any person counts, and it is very important. So please do it, and tell them that they can win an iPad if they go to the booth. So having said that, no, any final remark? Marcus, anything else? No, any of my colleagues from the executive committee, do you want to say something? No? Okay, so thank you very much for coming. Thank you for continuing supporting the IGFSA and the IGF. I think we are leaving our footprint in all what is happening around the world in the creation of national, regional IGFs, and everything we are achieving with the global IGF. So let's continue doing it. Thank you very much. Okay, we have to close the General Assembly. So the General Assembly is adjourned. It's closed, sorry.